So let's make pasta e fagioli, which is beans and pasta soup. And we were just looking at a mixture of onion, celery, carrots, garlic, olive oil, and I'm sauteing it in this pan, and I've added to that this delicious passata di pomodoro, which is a passata di pomodoro tomato puree. Once you've reduced that a little bit, you're going to add your beans to the mixture once it's been reduced. So you're going to saute it so it's translucent, add your tomatoes, and then add your haricot beans or sugar beans. You can actually use sugar beans as well. Need to give them a very good stir, which is what I'm doing here, very gently. And while you're doing that, put on some hot broth. Here I've made some hot broth with herbs, basil and sage, a bit of parsley, and it's a beef broth. And I've brought it to the boil, and I'm going to add it to the beans. Cover them well, of course. Be very careful not to burn yourself. And there we go. Delicious, absolutely delicious. One very, very healthy soup. And of course, protein, beans are high in protein and very, very low in fat. So anybody that's looking at weight loss, minus the oil, maybe a small dessert spoon of oil, but I've actually used 3, so I haven't used a lot of oil in the recipe anyway. But yeah, that's olive oil I've used. And yeah, you're bringing that to the boil basically. So while we're doing that, and you can see now it's finally come to a lovely boil. I'm just going to give it a bit of a stir. You can remove the froth that rises to the top of the pan if you need, but usually it disappears, so you may not need to do that. And the beans obviously have been washed before use. So they've come to a nice boil, and I'm going to now cover them. It's such an easy recipe to make. And here we go. Reduce the heat, by the way, once that comes to the boil. Don't forget to do that. There's the beautiful pasta di Tallini. And yeah, let's take a little tour of the kitchen. Our lemons, these are actually lemons from the tree that we've got up in the terrazza. My pasta's ready for the pasta fagioli minestrone soup, which is absolutely delicious. And yeah, I've actually got. So as you can hear, I've speeded the next bit up a little bit. LOL. My mocha made ready for espresso, for making coffee for any guests that want to pop in. So yeah, it's very casual, hey? And this is my kitchen. Just a little bit of it if you want to see. I'll stand back a little. I've got my fryer as well, my air fryer, or air cooker. Everything I need for cooking, that's for sure. These are my little liqueur glasses. What does it say? It says, hang on a second. I'm drunk. Oh my word, can you hear that zooming in? I can't understand a cactus. Non capisco più un cactus, sono ubriaca, vedi? Meno male che non bevo, so per me non è valido quella frase. It means nothing to me. I've got my little microwave, there we go, whirlpool, and yeah, there's a long bird's eye view of the kitchen. Oh, and this is my my fridge magnets, because when I went to South Africa, of course, or whenever I go, but last time I went, I picked up a lot of little fridge magnets to stick on my fridge. Very cute. Oh, I went to Miami a couple of years ago, so I've got Miami, Florida there as well. Notes and things to remember. Cape Town, there we go. That's me with my daughter, my husband, my son-in-law at the Two Oceans Aquarium in Cape Town. Absolutely fabulous. And I will be going back next year, February, so I can't wait. Penguins, of course, we're famous for our penguins at Baldur's Bay in Cape Town. Absolutely fabulous. And here we have a beautiful place in Italy called Vieste, which is on the coast, very near to me. I'm in this actual region, so I can go there. We do very often for lunches or in the summer just to swim. Beautiful in the Gargano Mountains. And we have the Trabucco di Vieste, absolutely stunning. So that's my fridge. Hello, fridge. Thank you for looking after us and keeping our food nice and fresh. Absolutely amazing. yeah, just a little bit of a tour, put it like a kitchen tour. And now we come to the most important part. You're going to take a quarter of the beans out and you're going to liquidize them and pour them back into the pot. Because this actually, what it does is it gets this soup, gives it a lovely creamy texture, which is really important. Otherwise, it would be just a watery broth. So by liquidizing a quarter of the beans and putting them back, it's going to obviously become deliciously creamy, but just a quarter, obviously, not too many. And you know, once you've done that, place it, put it back in and give it a lovely stir, which is what I'm going to do now. Keep watching, I'm getting there. And there we go, we're going to give it a good stir. And you know what you can do before this or after, but actually you could do it sort of fairly even at the beginning, is add a piece of Parmesan rind. You know, if you have the rind of Parmesan cheese, don't throw it away. Put it into the soup instead of wasting it. There goes the pasta. I'm going to give it another stir and cover now. But I might just put a piece of Parmesan in, which is a little bit late. You know, you should put it in earlier, but it doesn't really matter. And it does impart to the actual soup an absolutely exquisite flavor. So if you do have any leftover Parmesan, it really is worth adding. There we go. I'm saying I put mine in late, but it's absolutely fine. You can, you know, put it in right at the beginning. When you put your broth in, you can put a piece or even a bigger piece than that. It gives it an absolutely delicious taste. So well worth it. Cover, and all you're going to do now is wait for the pasta to actually be ready. So you'll obviously check it, but it is ready now. You want it al dente, which is firm to the bite. You don't want your pasta overcooked. And so I've done it for about 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes. I've used small pasta, tubettini or ditalini, that's what we call them. So they have to be more or less the same size as the beans. You know, you don't want to do it. You can put a larger one in, you can put a smaller one in, it's up to you. But, you know, it's nice to have them more or less the same size. And there we go, a bit of sage on top. And don't forget, this particular recipe can actually, you can serve it with a bowl of Parmesan cheese. Look, most Italians don't bother putting Parmesan on it, but it's entirely up to you if you want to add some freshly grated grana padano or Parmesan cheese. So we're ready to have lunch, and of course it wouldn't be an Italian lunch without this absolutely delicious pugliese bread, which you can see it's got lots of little holes in, lots of air, which makes it very, very light. There's the freshly grated Parmesan, which I did this morning. So obviously it's up to you, but a lot of Italians don't put it on, but if you do like it, you can. And a lot of recipes in Italy, funnily enough, if you go to the classic cookbooks, you'll find they do add Parmesan cheese to it, but it's, you know, obviously a personal taste. I love it. I do love it. So that was my pasta e fagioli recipe, which translated into English is beans and pasta. And it's an original recipe. I know what I'm talking about because I live in Puglia in Italy, and I am Italian, even though I don't have the accent I know. But that's how you make it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to taste it now, if I may. Here we go. Delicious. It's warming in winter. It's absolutely satisfying. I have to admit, I actually took the pasta out of mine. I don't have it with pasta. But of course, the hubby is having the original with pasta version. Just because I am trying to reduce in calories and lose weight. But anyways, that was pasta fagioli, and it's a very traditional, old-fashioned way of making it. It's a traditional Italian winter soup that the peasants would have made back in the day, and the farm workers, people that, you know, couldn't have really afford much, and they put something together and actually make this absolutely delicious soup. There you go. So I'm just going to carry on eating my beans because I've taken the pasta out. Of course, the hubby has got pasta in his. No pasta in mine, but it's the same soup. There's a little bit of oil there, but look, I'm not going to be eating tonight, so I actually don't care. And yeah, it'll only be an apple for dinner after this, and that's it. And of course, the bread here is absolutely amazing. You know, you've got it's so light and tasty and delicious. It goes perfectly with this, and you wouldn't be able to have it without a glass of Italian homemade red wine. The hubby's having a beer and I'm having the wine. There you go. Parmesan is an option, by the way. You can put it on at the end. It's up to you. Anyway, buon appetito.